and it was the most insane.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Golfing Dads, and I am super excited. Week and a half or so ago, Richard and I met online and had a conversation through our friend Seth Northern, one of the greatest people that we both know. And Richard is the brains behind a really cool golf club company called 11 Golf out of England. Richard, let's start with, how did you get involved and how did you get 11 Golf started?
Well, my father was a golf pro many years ago and just loved helping people play better golf. He was a great coach and just he loved the enjoyment he saw in people's faces when they played great golf. So I always liked the concepts of easy golf clubs, and we had the opportunity probably 3-4 years ago to start 11, and we started it with hybrids, and it's just grown and grown and grown to an extent now it's just gone so big for us.
Yep.
All over the world, which is great. But the objective to start with was just, can we help people play better golf? And hybrids seem to be the one club that really did it,
So let me ask, obviously launching 3-4 years ago, coming out of COVID, on the backside of COVID, what was the biggest challenge that you faced launching a golf club company in an industry that, let's be real, is kind of oversaturated?
It is. With the big, just ways of getting to market. We thought we would go down the golf pro route of fitting stations in pro shops, and then literally I spoke to a friend of mine who said, have you seen, we started to watch YouTube more and more during COVID, I guess. People will watch. He said, I've got a friend of mine who would want to try your club. So we did one video, and within 20 minutes of this video going out, we sent him a set of our golf clubs, and literally within 20 minutes, an order came through, and you get really excited. You've got one order, then another order, then another order, and then you're at 5 o'clock in the morning, you're waking up, and the first thing you do is you're looking at your orders, and it was the most insane thing I can honestly ever explain. We're here in England, in a very sleepy town called Hereford. We're right in the middle of England. It's a beautiful country, lots of farmers and cattle and tractors driving down the road. We're a very sleepy town, and we had an order come from Texas. That was our first order when we went online. Was from a guy in Texas, and then someone from California, and then somebody from Spain, and just literally it has grown from that moment. So it's been for 4 years non-stop, and then YouTubers have come to us and said, can we test the product? And so that's grown and a huge amount in the golf industry. I've been in the golf industry a long time, and I know it's big in America. Your Grant Horvats and your Brian Bros, they're huge influences in the golf industry now. Yeah. Even to the point of being, are they bigger than golf pros? And from a commercial point of view, they could be.
It's funny. I ran a golf blog for 5+ years, and the reason we have this podcast now is because after COVID, realized that nobody reads anymore. And everything is done on video, and so literally had to pivot. That made for an interesting segue as we moved into this and have grown this brand. Now you're utilizing YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and all the other platforms, TikTok. But let's talk about the clubs as you've advanced. You talked about the hybrid irons. For someone who has never seen an 11 hybrid iron, what is it?
Basically, all iron length clubs. So we started a three hybrid all the way down to a gap wedge. But the unique thing about 11 is we sell them individually, because we know everybody won't want a full set of hybrids. If you're a 7-wood player, you might start at a 6 hybrid and go 6, 7, 8, 9 wedge. So there's lots of combinations, but basically there's the hybrid head that you see on your 3, 4, and 5 hybrids go all the way down to a gap wedge. We're very lucky that we've teamed up with some great companies, to have KBS golf shafts, to have the TGI shaft in our golf clubs is huge for us, because virtually every brand in the world are charging $50, $60, $70 upgrade on that particular shaft. So we put it in a standard, obviously from stiff all the way down to super seniors. So that's been terrific. But it's just literally one of the things I say to people: you're 160 yards from the green, and you might hit 7-iron, an 8-iron, and whatever club. You're going to hit more greens in regulation with a hybrid because your bad shots are so tight. And that's the one big thing that all our customers have told us, from golf pros to 28 handicappers, is that they're hitting more greens in regulation. Their bad shots go the distance that their good shots go. So the dispersion is so tight. And then hence, last week, for me, it's a complete dream of going down to London and being with Colin Montgomery and Sam Torrance, who are just, in the UK terms and European terms, are legends. Over the pond, I reckon Monty's, with his Ryder Cup history, has upset a few Americans over the years, but I've got 2 legends on board who I never, ever thought would come and support a brand like 11.
Well, we're going to get to Colin, especially, and Sam, and your relationship with both of them in a minute here. But, I think back to my dad, who struggled hitting a 3, 4, 5, and 6-iron. And I joke with him now that his golf bag looks like an LPGA player's bag because he's got so many head covers in it, because all he has are hybrids in his bag. And he laughs at me and tells me I'm an idiot, and that's usually what he does. But what's one thing that really stands out that you offer hybrids all the way through? What led to that decision?
Just how easy they were. Just literally, we all getting slightly. I'm an ex-pro, and every year I was getting a little bit shorter. The backswing was getting a little bit shorter, having to take extra clubs. So I sort of built them for myself a little bit to try and make it as easy as possible. If I'm being truthful, that's what it was. I wanted a set of clubs that I liked. And it's just, it's hard to explain it until you use it. This is why I'm going to send you a set for you guys to have a real go with. Just the dispersion of them is insane. Yeah. Even to the point where, there is a bit of a stigma to it. I'm not a senior. I don't need hybrids, but we're just challenging people to take them out and hit them. And that's why you can buy them individually. And we sell so many individual 7 hybrids and 8 hybrids. People just want to try it, and then they're on the phone going, "Oh my God, let's send me the rest of the set."
So let me ask you. I play off of a 5 now. At one point, I was a +4 and played a lot of golf. Now I have 2 children and don't play golf as much anymore. But do you see a low handicap scratch golfer improving their game and having more success when they switch?
100%. 100%. Your game, I can see your game +4 handicap. If I go back and I was caddying for you in your +4 days, you're hitting 16 greens in regulation, 15 greens in regulation. You're making 1 birdie every, I would say, +4. You're probably even to the point of 1 every 2.5 holes making a birdie every time you're hitting greens in regulation. And the only difference now between 5 and 9 is the amount of greens in regulation you're hitting.
Yep.
My son Nick's a very, very good player. Scratch golfer, just loves playing golf. He doesn't play tournament golf, but he had the course record at our golf course about a year ago. He had 9 birdies in the last 11 holes using hybrids. But all he did, he just didn't miss greens. And then, as you know, as a +4 handicapper, when you hit greens in regulation, you make birdies. And
Yeah.
and the most amazing thing happened the other day. I had a phone call from a gentleman, I think it's from California. He said, Richard, I'm 71 years old. I've
Mm-hmm.
had your hybrids for 12 months. And when I bought your hybrids, I was 17 and struggling. And now I've got to 11. And I had a really long conversation with this guy. And I said, that's staggering. If you'd have said to me at 71, you've come down to 15, I'd have
Yeah.
said, well done. But to come
Yeah.
down, I said, what have you done? He said, oh,
6 strokes.
I'm,
Yeah, 6 strokes is huge. In 12 months, that's
that's a
huge.
huge improvement at
Yeah.
71. He said, I stand on a par 3 with a 6 iron, and I can knock it on the green. I can stand on a par 3 with a 5 iron, and I feel I'm going to knock it on the green because of the confidence of the bigger heads. And we're at this sort of crossroads with our brand, is because potentially this is the greatest club in the world.
Mm.
It really is. I could put this against every brand in the world, and the data that would come out, this club would come out on top. But it's a hybrid, and there is a stigma between. So when you get to my age at 55, I don't actually care what I use. I don't care what ball I use. I don't care what, I'm a little bit less conscious of brands. All I want to do is to play as easy a golf as possible. And that's where it all stems from, I guess. And yeah, it is crazy, but it is really, really impressive. And I think, with if you had a set of hybrids, I reckon I could get you down to scratch within 6 months.
Wow.
Genuinely.
You talked about the stigmatism of hybrid irons in your last answer here, but the next question I have for you is, what do you think the biggest misconception is about them?
That they're there for old people, and they hit the ball too high, and they're uncontrollable. I think that's and it's the complete opposite. The numbers. I get tour pro friends of mine come down because they come in. We have a lot of tour pros and good pros come and see Nick, my son, for advice on shafts and club fitting because he's that good. And every time they come down, he says, "Just hit the hybrids for me," and they hit it, and they just go, "Oh my God." And we go, "Well, what's stopping you put them in the golf bag?" And they go, "Nothing really, but I should be. The industry tells me I should be using P790s and Titleist, whatever, But the industry are very much pushing that way. I think if a brand like TaylorMade, Callaway, or Ping brought out a full set of hybrids, that would be possibly their biggest seller. But I don't think they want to be known as a game improvement club company. They want to be known as a player. That's why the endorsement goes towards, the tour pros.
I mean, you can look back in history, and I mean, we can go back and debate, but like the Cleveland irons, those VAS irons that Corey Pavin won a U.S. Open.
Oh my goodness me! I remember that. Yeah, absolutely.
That literally set Cleveland back how many years with those irons, because nobody could get over the ugliness of those irons. So, like when you think about that, you're not wrong. In an industry like this, that Cleveland has been known for their wedges, and the wedges that they've made for years. They made great irons. Just they made those irons, and everyone was like, "What is this?" And nobody wanted. It really impacted them. So you're not wrong in that from a company perspective.
It's weird. We were very lucky. We got invited to a live pro-am event in Saudi Arabia a couple of years ago, and we were on the practice area because in Saudi there was no golf fans at all. So we were on the practice area with everybody, and you're watching Dustin Johnson hit a 7-wood. Well, that would never happen. Basically a 7-wood is a big hybrid, really. Yeah. And he's there absolutely bombing it, huge height, landing softly, where taking the 3-iron out of the bag and replaced it with a 7-wood. Yeah. Freddie Couples has got, goodness me, he's like
Freddie's got more hybrids in his bag than he does anything else.
And I think if Bridgestone did an 8 and a 9 hybrid, you'd probably have them in the bag. They just don't do it. They just go, "Oh, we stop here."
Yeah. Because so you talked about Colin Montgomery and Sam Torrance, and you are correct. I have cursed both of them during a Ryder Cup as an American. But You've had Sam on staff for over a year now, and now you've got Colin on staff. How did those relationships come together?
Just through third-party friends, people you meet over the years, and you talk to a few agents, and you go, well, Sam Torrance, and Nick was doing my son went through a bit of me and my son both went through a bit of a bad phase of putting with the long putters, and we said, who's the person we could get? And Sam Torrance actually invented, I didn't realize to the time, Sam invented the long putt. He was the first pro on any tour to use the broom handle or the long putter. So we approached Sam and said, look, would you want to do a bit of a collaboration with us on the long putter? And he said yes. And then he tried the hybrids and fell in love with them. And Sam Torrance was just one of these guys who is, back in the day, I'm not sure, I think is it Jim Nance is like the voice of golf in America. We had Peter Allis. Peter Allis was God. He was European golf. He was the voice of golf. And when Peter passed away a few years ago, Sam sort of took over his mantle as the voice of golf, and he was just such a perfect fit. He doesn't play tournaments anymore. He's a huge character. He's won the Ryder Cup. He's played multiple things. He was the third most. Played more events than anybody else on the European World Tours, and he was just a joy to get. And then obviously, Sam said to me one day, he spoke to Monty. I said, "Oh, he's a bit. I thought he was a bit out of our league a little bit." And he said, "No, he'll be interested. He knows about your brand, and he loves the story, what you're trying to tell." And our story was I said to Sam, well, all I want to do is to help people enjoy golf and have a longevity to golf. Because my father's 95 now, and he's stopped playing the last 3 or 4 years. But he's 95 because of golf. Yeah. Living on a golf course, playing golf with his buddies. And I just thought, you know what? I saw what joy it meant to him playing golf. Of course, you can play with any set of golf clubs and enjoy it. But if we've got a set of golf clubs that makes it more fun and more enjoyable. And Colin just said, I love the story. I just love what you're trying to do, and so to get those two guys on board, I just thought, to be fair, and then I thought, right, let's try and get all the winning Ryder Cup captains on board. That was my goal. So I've approached a few American Ryder Cup winning captains. But there aren't as many as Europeans, so the list isn't as long.
Wow, cheap shots fired. I like it.
Sorry, I like to get it in.
I have to tell you a funny story. So I haven't always my day job now is in the mortgage business here in the States. But before that, I worked in the hospitality industry, and I worked for this small company in Central Florida called Disney at one point. And the last year of when Disney used to have the golf tournament here, the PGA Tour was here. Peter Allis was staying at the hotel that I worked at, and I had to do his meet and greet. And Peter and he would come down every morning. We would sit in the lobby. He'd drink his coffee, and we would just talk. And I literally, you are correct, one of the absolute best people in the entire world. And, hated to see him pass away because he was such a good storyteller, and I loved listening to him on TV because he was so good. So, yeah. So let me ask you, and you had Sam, and Sam helped you get Colin. As you sit down with Colin and, thinking that Colin was out of the league here, what was it like when you first got to show the clubs to Colin?
Oh, incredible. For us in Europe, it's Colin Montgomery. He won the Order of Merit 7 times. It's a little bit different now. I said to Nick, my son, and some of his friends, it was a different time where all the best Europeans now are playing in America on the PGA Tour. But back in the day when Colin was winning 7 consecutive Order of Merits, it was like a major every week because Ian Woosnam, Nick Faldo, Seve Ballesteros, Elazabal, you can just Sandy Lyle, huge European greats. And then later on, your Lee Westwoods and your Luke Donalds and your Ian Poulters. So but now if the European Tour now is the best players all in America, but back in the day when Monty was, the American PGA Tour was the American PGA Tour, and the European Tour was the European Tour, and it's very rare players went from one tour to the next. He's just a legend, really is. And to be fair, I've seen the Colin Montgomery on the golf course, the serious guy, but what a gentleman. He's just an absolute gentleman, honestly.
That's awesome. What's it like? I mean, obviously 7-time Order of Merit winner, Ryder Cup legend, obviously giving you guys a huge endorsement by coming on board. Yeah. What does that partnership mean for you?
It means everything for us, really. It just means that people can take everyone from the better players now going, oh, you got Monty on board, and pros are coming to me now and saying, you got Monty? Yeah, we got, oh, can I try your golf clubs? Where before, it just takes that little endorsement. Mm-hmm. One of the things we are now, we are the official partner of the Legends Tour, which is the European equivalent of the Champions Tour. So we've got some, it really is a Legends Tour. The Ian Woosnams and Montes are playing in these events. A few of the Americans come over. So I'm going to Ireland, to Dublin tomorrow for one of the events, to go on the practice area pre-tournament, and getting up and putting the hybrids in the hands of tour pros.
Yeah.
And to see what they think of it. So the opportunity of Colin has opened doors that I'd never would dream of, really. But the key for us is America.
Okay.
It always has been. I have a love affair with Florida. It's a place where I'm going to buy a home shortly. There's a very, very good chance that there is an 11 division, and it's going to be in Florida. We hope. But the American market is really, you've been to the PGA show in Orlando. You go there, and sometimes you just have to take a step back and go, wow. I go for 2-3 days, and my head's a bit sort of, at the end of it, I'm a bit confused because it's so big. And you think,
you aren't wrong.
It is, this direct to consumer market, it's still where we are. It's still a big part of our business. I just feel that I look at the American market, and there's 37 million golfers in America. Half of those are in our demographic that would suit, actually probably even more than half, potentially are 11 customers. We've just got to find that way of getting out to it.
I think it's more than half, and I would say that when you're looking at your demographic and the older generation, I would also think that the ease of being able to hit hybrids would be a great introduction to a new golfer to make the game more enjoyable. I mean, we talk about this game, and the USGA is doing whatever they can, and thankfully they've kicked the golf ball roll back, and I think it's a dead deal now. But they are trying to make the game harder for people, and I think you guys, with what you're doing for a beginner and someone, let's just say, who's 20 years old and wants to pick the game up because they know they need it for business, might be a better option for them. So I do think that you're in a bigger market than 50% of that. So do you guys, obviously the hybrids and the hybrid irons are your bread and butter, but do you guys offer any other equipment?
Oh, we've got drivers, mini drivers, offset drivers, wedges, putters, obviously the Sam Torrance putters. We launched a really unique product about 12 months ago, which was a 7-degree fairway wood.
I think ground balls. It'd be like I'd be like in the baseball field hitting ground balls with that thing.
No, it's the most. Nick, my son, who's my lead designer in the business, is a good player. He hits his driver a long way. There's lots of guys now who hit it probably too far, if anything. And we were doing some fairway woods. He said, I've got the factory to make me a 7-degree fairway wood. And I said, what on earth have you done that for? And he literally hit one on the simulator. I said, hit one, 300 yards, very low, but very straight with a 3-wood shaft in it. And I went, that number is insane. Do it again. Did it again. Do it again. I got one. I found James Robinson, who's a YouTuber in England. I said, James, you need to come down and see this. This is the only club in the world I've seen that's 7-degree fairway wood. He came down with Nick, did a video. His numbers were insane. And within 48 hours, we'd sold thousands of them. But it's a better players club. It's literally the opposite of what 11 are trying to do. But we called it a tortoise range because it was just, Nick said on the video, this is for me. I'm a mad scientist. I play, our golf course is in the top 100 golf courses in Britain. It's a golf course called Kinkton. It's the highest golf course in England.
Okay.
It's got sheep on it. It's got bracken either sides on every fairway. So it's like playing out of bounds right, out of bounds left for 18 holes on the top of the most beautiful hill with sheep, with wind, with no watered fairways. And this thing just penetrates the middle of the fairways. So it's good fun. We're initiative as far as brands, but we are a hybrid company. 100%. We are hybrids, but our customers have said, I love your hybrids. Can you do drivers? So we've done drivers, we've done bags and all the stuff that go with it, but we are hybrids and will always be hybrids.
I have to tell you, you've got me interested. My wife is on our next trip overseas will be to England and Scotland, and I am going to come visit you and I want to play the golf course. So I'm just letting you know that.
Oh, I'm going to take you to Kinkton. I promise you, there's some great golf courses in Scotland and Ireland. I mean, some of the world's best golf courses.
Yeah.
You'll come to Kinkton and you'll go, oh my God. It is it's heaven in the skies, honestly.
Where do you see 11 golf in the next 5 years?
Good question. Do you know what? I can't think of where 11 golf is going to be next week because it's just been non-stop and when I say non-stop for us, it's non-stop.
Look up.
I'd be amazed ultimately if one of the big brands doesn't come along or a company comes along and buys us, to be fair, because we are a family-run business with no investors, doing really, really well. But I would like to have conquer America. I think have some guys on the Champions Tour using the hybrids and actually winning with the hybrids. I think, how do I sit down with Freddie Couples and say, Freddie, this is your brand? And obviously, Colin's playing in America. He's he's not on the hybrids yet, but he's endorsing the brand. He's got the tour bag. The more people that see it, if we can get a few guys, and I think that's the way forward for us. I think that my demographic who still use the older generations are watching YouTube, but they know the Fred Couples and the Jim Furyk's, they're legends of golf. It's like when as kids, the Coca-Cola machines and all the nostalgia of the past, isn't it? Taking your dad taking you to a baseball game, I guess. I remember my dad took me in 1977 to the Dunlop Masters at St. Pierre Golf Club, and I was watching Lee Trevino on a practice ground. And back in those days on the European Tour, the pros took their own golf balls. And I was watching Lee Trevino, and his caddy was down the driving range with a baseball glove, and he was catching the wedges. And he was going, go back, and he'd go back 10 yards and hit a 9-iron, and he would catch them all the way back to the end of the driving range. And he was pinging 3 woods, and they had 1 bounce, and his caddy was catching them. And you look back at the good old days, I guess. And so the Legends Tour, the Champions Tour is, if we can get some of those guys on board, and then I think it will explode in the States. I really do.
Yeah.
I think maybe.
As we know, and one of the things that you guys do is the ability to buy one club. Golf equipment can get very expensive, and we all know that. It's not cheap. When you look at your business model, how important is affordability?
Huge. Absolutely huge. Because I get lots of phone calls from guys, from all over the world saying, I'm a veteran, do you do some discounts because I'm on a I get it. So we're huge to be price conscious. The thing now is number one, are these clubs or the brands getting better? Really? I don't know if they are. I don't think the drivers are any better than they were 5 or 6, 7 years ago. But the price has gone double and triple. It's $2,000 for a set of irons these days for a big brand. You think, cool, blimey, it's a lot of money. So we're very conscious that we haven't increased our price on the hybrids for 4 years.
Wow.
And people, and with all the cost of shipping and freight and materials, everybody here is going, we need to put the price up. I'm going, no, we've got to keep it the same. It's working. And luckily, our partners are very good. KBS have been great partners. But just to give you an example, we in our fairway woods that are $200 odd for a fairway wood. We're putting a KBS shaft that's more expensive than the price of the fairway wood.
Yeah,
we're putting the KBS TG it's the KBS 2 wood shaft. It's phenomenal, and it's more expensive to buy it individually than it is to buy our golf club. So we're putting the world's best componentry in. So without their support, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. So we're very thankful for them for supporting us.
So somebody out there is watching this and they want to know how to buy their next set of hybrid irons or that 7-degree fairway wood. I don't ever want to see one of those. It scares me. Where can they find out more information about 11 Golf?
It's on our website at 11-golf.com. Just go on the website. Bizarrely, I think it staggers people that my mobile number is on the website.
Oh.
And which is a good thing because I get to speak to all my customers. My wife thinks it's a terrible idea when I'm speaking to Chuck in Arizona at 3 o'clock in the morning and he wants to he wants to know what shafts he should use. She doesn't think it's a very good idea at all. But what it does do, our people can email and get our team is so good on customer service. We recommend, people say, I'm not sure what to do. I said, buy one club. We've had a bit of tricky this last 12 months because of Donald's tax that he's put on everything. And it wasn't there, that is there. So we've sort of split the taxes with our customers. It's still very reasonable, to be fair. The shipping is a few days from the UK. Everything gets hand built. And Seth. Seth was one of my first customers with 11, and just from the word go, he plays
on the wrong side of the ball.
Oh, I know he does. Yeah, he should be playing hockey.
He does. He plays on the wrong side of the ball. So, no, Richard, thank you for joining us today. I appreciate you coming on and doing this because, again, any chance to pick your brain, hear some great stories about some, obviously amazing golfers that are on your staff now. I really appreciate the time and look forward to seeing 11's success going forward.
But that set of golf clubs I'll get to you to try next week.
I'll send you an email.
Give them a really good go. And when you're in England, honestly, please come and play Kingston Golf Club.
We will definitely, and definitely when you're in Florida, we will definitely meet up. So,
well, I'm going to be in Florida a couple of times this year, definitely.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thanks, Steve.
Hey,
Steve.
you know, I had to do
I want to say this. There's nothing wrong with playing from the wrong side of the golf ball.
Your son does it, right? And so does Greg's son.
Yes, he
but
does.
Yeah, no, I had to.
And he does it better than you.
So, Dave, let's we got to pay a couple bills here real quick.
Yeah.
And then we got a lot to talk about, Dave. I don't know if you've seen this, but there's been some breaking news tonight as well. So we're going to get into a lot of this.
I have not.
Yes, this is going to be fun. But you know what else is fun, Dave?
People winning golf tournaments using Bridgestone golf balls.
Chris Goddard had a lot of fun this weekend, and he's going to have more fun this weekend as the defending champion. So dial in your game with Bridgestone and the Tour B featuring Mindset. The visual cues help you focus, commit, and roll up pure. Same tour level performance now with a smarter way to lock in. Find your fit and play the Tour B today. BridgestoneGolf.com. I've got my Mindset notepad here with a lot of notes on it that I made today.
I don't have one of those.
Okay, it's okay. It's okay. I got it for us. We're safe.
Yeah.
We're going to start with somebody that didn't have any mindset first, Dave. I have been there. I know, Bradley, you're going to say it drink, so we can already say that it's coming. Somebody played Paynes Valley this week. And as of this afternoon, it's still there. They drove a golf cart off the cliff after the 19th hole into the pond on 19.
I'm going to ask the stupid question that requires the obvious answer.
Go ahead and ask. I knew it was coming.
Were you just taken in by the majesty and the majesticness of the view there that you weren't paying attention? Or did you have one too many transfusions?
Oh, see, I thought you were going to ask how many transfusions they had. I did have when I played there. They have a halfway house called the Crow's Nest. You get to it. It's a great little spot. All the food is included. The only thing you have to pay for is drinks. They have some great bison dogs. Obviously, they did not have enough bison dogs while they made the turn to soak up their transfusion. Yes, Bradley, that is exactly what this is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It is a gravity experiment.
From a guy that worked at a resort at Disney World that rented out golf carts and has had to fish golf carts out of canals.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
So here's my take on this. First off, it's nearly impossible to do what they did. And I say nearly now because obviously it is not impossible anymore because somebody has done it.
It's been done.
It's been done. Our friend Shano golfs, and if you don't follow Shano, you've got to be crazy to not follow Shano. He talks about shrinking the game. I'm typically not a fan of the word shrink the game, but in this case, I firmly believe that these people should never play golf again.
Now, is this going to be like, so I was in Kansas City over the weekend for Royals
Vertical
Phillies.
Velocity impact.
Of course, Kansas City. Yeah. Kansas City, of course, has the fountains there in the outfield. It is a permanent ban, not only from Kansas City, but from all Major League Baseball stadiums if you end up in the fountains. Same rules apply to Paynes Valley?
I think they should apply to every golf course across the country and the world at this point, and these people should not be allowed to play golf ever again. I wouldn't even let them go to Top Golf. In fact, they should have to pay. They should have. We've seen some bad things at Top Golf. We've seen a lot of them when we used to do Smack of the Week on this show.
Yeah.
Still don't think they're allowed at Top Golf. So, you know what they should have done? They should have made sure they locked in their yardages with Nikon Cool Shot rangefinders, fast, accurate distances, and slope technology. and crystal clear optics, so you can pick the right club. Total confidence. Nikon Cool Shot. See it, shoot it, stick it. Nikon Golf Rangefinder is the official rangefinder of the LPGA Tour and the Golfing Dads podcast.
So,
in other big news, and we've talked about Shano, we're big fans of Shano and what he does on social media. I want to give a shout out to one of our previous guests. Tonight is going to be we've got 2 previous guests that we're going to be giving shout outs to tonight. So our
fun.
first one is going to be the one and only the golf's leading journalist investigating handicaps at prestigious private golf and country clubs. Our friend Yip Strickler.
Mr. Yip Strickler.
It was announced today that the winner of the Korn Ferry Tour's BMW event, the amateur of the Pro-Am winner, has been disqualified based on investigative journalism from the one and only Yip Strickler.
Interesting.
The guy entered as a 5 handicap. And Yip did some digging because the guy only had 5 scores in the last month, and it was a brand new handicap, and found this gentleman to be a 0.5 handicap.
Ooh.
I'm going to ask a question. Now, first of all, I've done my investigative journalism and asked Yip if this individual, who we will not name by names, is going to appear on his podcast that he does when he calls out people, and if they would like to come and argue with him their handicaps, they can. And he has said no.
Okay.
But I'm going to ask this. In the world of the chief of sandbagging rats, Yip Strickler, why would you do this on a Korn Ferry Tour event?
Why would you drive a golf cart into the pond of Paynes Valley?
Maybe, you know what, the only excuse on that one, and I can go back to it, is they play this really nice video as you're driving through, and they tell you to keep your speed at a certain level, and the video plays, and it's really nice, and maybe they just got distracted, but no, I'm not even going to give them that. Okay, cool.
But, there's a difference between a 0.5 and a 5. That's not an error on somebody's part at Korn Ferry or something else. That is you trying to get away with saying, "Oh, I just put the decimal point in the wrong spot." But we'll leave that's Yip's department. That's what Yip does.
Yes.
And if you're not following Yip Strickler, go out and give Yip a follow.
Because he's amazing.
Yes.
2-time guest on the podcast. I'm going to save our other previous guests for a little later in the show, Dave.
Yeah.
We're going to go with the easy one. Then we're going to go with the one that we're going to have some talks, and then we'll go to our previous guest. Okay.
All right.
Next topic. After level up your golf style with Golfish apparel, premium fit, bold designs, and gear that looks just as good as the clubhouse as it does over a cold one after the round. Whether you're teeing it up or turning into the golfing dads, rep a brand that lives and breathes the game. Golfish, made for golfers by golfers. Golfishapparel.com. Get yours today. Dave, I like that. Is that that's the Golfish logo tee? I like that one. I have that too.
Yes, it is. Because it's just what happened. Because I figured you were wearing pink, and so I had my spare here just in case.
No. This is more orangey, and the lights it look like salmony, but it's more orangey.
I do have one of my pink ones to go to St. Louis this weekend. So
nice. Now, are you going to a Cardinals game?
We are on Friday night. They're playing the Braves, so I will have to cheer for the Cardinals.
You will, yes, you will.
Doc Donnelly will be pretty happy about that.
Versant Media, Dave, who many people don't know, owns the Golf Channel of all things right now. They are the split off company when NBC Universal split in the companies that they let go.
This is an interesting thing here. Yes.
They acquired Full Swing Simulators yesterday.
Yes.
In acquiring that, those are the simulators, one, invested in by one Tiger Woods.
Yes.
And two, the simulators used on TGL.
Mm-hmm.
Do we see, now that Versant Media has acquired them, do we see Full Swing Simulators at TGL next season? It's on ESPN. Just clarifying what the reason we're asking the question.
Yeah. I don't think that's going to have anything to deal with, ESPN broadcasting. That I believe ESPN is the right platform to be doing that. I have my own opinions about Peacock and Apple TV and Netflix and everybody else that has gotten into the broadcasting game of baseball and football and hockey and
soccer and
dodgeball and everything else.
That's on the Ocho.
Yes, I know. ESPN has been doing this for years. They are the entire sports programming network. Let them do that. And, we've seen how bad coverage has been in the past. Let's go back to the U.S. Open on Fox. With everybody's favorite announcer. We've seen struggles with other companies. I think we all remember the Mike Tyson fight and how that went down. There's been problems with the match, being aired properly. So I think, and ESPN partners with all these other ABC, CBS, NBC, just to get highlights and everything else. The things are already there in place. ESPN does a great job in that. Let's not bounce this around and force people to buy 84 different subscriptions to watch different things. Because you need your YouTube
Golf Channel is still
to
at
watch
least
the golfing
on
dads.
cable. Yeah. Don't forget to like and subscribe, please. I think that you will see Full Swing. I think Tiger was too invested in that, and I don't think Tiger will let it go. I think we will still see Full Swing Simulators on TGL. Dave, right before, and I didn't text you this, but right before, literally in the last half hour before our show started tonight, an article broke that before Livid launched, there was another company out there trying to start a World Golf Tour and get involved with PGA Tour players and play this global game like Liv did. And it was Premier Golf League, PGL, and there was World Golf Group and Premier Golf League. They have now sued, as of this evening, Liv Golf and the Public Investment Fund for breach of confidence and unlawful means conspiracy. I'm going to just say this. If these guys came up with this first, shouldn't Liv be suing them for the failure that Liv has become because this product's terrible?
It's one of those, we've all worked for this, giant conglomerate of an entertainment industry, and people sue left and right over intellectual property or what they believe they created and somebody else stole. You created a golf league. Okay. Whether it's successful or not, you went out and created a golf league. That shouldn't be something that you can sue somebody over. Be happy that you're not the one trying to deal with the PGA and everything else and that you didn't get off the ground. So get your 15 minutes of fame and move on.
Yeah. Again, Sergio says that he thinks that Liv will exist next year. I still find it hard to believe. Math ain't math in there, and we'll just leave it at that. I don't want to dig your grave on that one.
Where's Biff Tannen with a sports almanac when you need him?
Right. Nice. Back to the Future reference there.
It took you a second. No,
I got it, and I was like, well, no. Yeah. Hey, you know what else you should do? You should get your young golfer started right with Upswing Golf and their full kids lineup of clubs designed for proper fit, real performance, and serious fun. Upswing Golf, grow like a pro. Upswinggolf.com, the official golf kids clubs of the Golfing Dads podcast.
We did have Will had his. We took ours to Kansas City over the weekend and did some top golfing down there, and we'll be taking them to St. Louis with us and get a little more top golf in at St. Louis. It's about the closest I can get to a golf course right now.
Yeah. Chris Goddard won the John Deere.
I want to get to Goddard in a second here. And I was thinking about this while I was driving around working today. You know who I'm really impressed by, and I take this with a heavy grain of salt because
do I say can I give a teaser as to who you're really impressed by? Because
does it involve one of our product sponsors?
It does, and he used that Optum driver. Matched it, experienced highly addictive accuracy with Cobra's lineup of Optum drivers. Designed with optimized MOI and POI, Optum drivers deliver incredible stability and unmatched accuracy off the tee. Upgrade your game by purchasing an Optum driver today. Learn more at CobraGolf.com. And Dave, who was that impressed you this week?
I tell you, I took Ricky. I was very happy with Ricky's performance. You know, he went out, shot 62 on Saturday. Got himself back in it. I think he had the longest drive of the week at 367 yards. But
with an Optum driver.
Yes. I know I give this other golfer. I think he's a fantastic golfer. And I'm doing this is basically just based on odds. Because I've always thought he's been favored more than he probably should have been. This was not the case this week. Max Homa played out of his shoes.
Yes, he did.
Over the weekend. And he came down, Goddard had, we'll get to Goddard here in a second. And I know I have, from an odds perspective, I have ragged on Max Homer a little bit. I think that being said, I think he's a fantastic golfer. He's a great interview. He's funny to listen to out on the course when you get him in the booth. And very huge props to him for what he did at John Deere, coming back and finishing it, 19 under, and having a shot to actually win the tournament. So, my 3 seconds right there. I feel bad for Greg because he had talked about taking Goddard up last week.
He did. He looked at
it. He also talked about taking somebody else that didn't make the cut. So, there was that.
He got his third win this year on the PGA Tour, his fifth overall win, going to Scotland this week where he's the defending champion, where he stared down Rory in the face and said, yeah, no, I'm going to win this thing. Thanks. Also in the field this week, and we have a few live players in the field this week that have VP World Tour status.
Yeah, Rahm's in the field. Hatton's in the field. Those are the two that stuck out at me. Patrick Reed is in the field this week.
Yep.
Not a live player, but DP. Koepka's there. It's a looking at the odds right now. It's a really good field. I know who I'm penciling in for you to start off because you get first pick. But let's talk about this going back over the pond on going from John Deere, which I think they still do it right and have that chartered flight for everybody to get over there. A different type of golf that we're going to see across the pond here the next 2 weeks.
Yep.
We'll call Bradley out for the drink here, but Steve, you were there. You were at the Open.
Literally a year ago. This was my last show before I left.
Yeah.
Yep.
Coming from the John Deere and the Midwest and everything else, what are these guys going to experience getting over there to Scotland right now for the Open and the next couple weeks of golf, the next 2 weeks, full 2 weeks of golf here?
I mean, you're going to say, there was a video that the Scottish Open posted today of Goddard hitting a driver with his hoodie over his head. Do I think that the weather will play a factor and that it'll be cool? We might see some rain, which is always a good time. And there's the occasional gorse bush that you can't hit out of. So it'll be a good time. I think that you're going to see a good 2 weeks of golf in Scotland and England over the next 2 weeks in the UK, and I think it's going to be awesome. I think that we need to enjoy these 2 weeks of what is early golf.
Yeah, very early. Got morning coffee, or for some of us, morning Bloody Marys.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
and we'll go from there. But so looking, this week, a lot of people in the field. Scotty at just under 5-1, Rory at 9.5, John Rahm at just about 13, Xander at 19, Ludwig 19.5, Tommy at 20, Matty Fitz at 21, Goddard, the defending champion, at 27. Your U.S. champion Wyndham Clark at 33, Hatton at 33, JT at 34, Bobby Mack at 37, Victor Hovland at 38, Cantley at 40, Minwoo at 44, and then Alex Fitzpatrick in the field at 53. Right now, Patrick Reed, I mentioned earlier, at 63. Shane Lowry, always a tough bet over there in those conditions, but you never want to put anything past Shane at 67. Adam Scott's there at 68. So
you're too far down. You're too far down. Nobody cares at that point.
Well, you care about Shane Lowry.
I think you probably got.
Am I penciling you in for Scotty?
No, I'm going to take your guy, Rory.
You're taking Rory.
Yep. Finished second last year. Taking Rory.
Okay. Greg had texted me his picks. I don't know if he thought if Scotty was going to be available. So
let's just.
I will give him the benefit of the doubt, and he wanted to take Victor right now, so I am going to put that in for him. But if he would like to change it because I am picking third, I will give him that ability to do that. That being said, I didn't think Scotty would fall all the way to me, so that's not really where I was going. And I've kind of avoided Scotty for the most part for this year. I kind of had my eye on Matt Fitzpatrick this week.
I like the pick.
That being said, I'm going to take Scott. That being said, I'm going to take Scotty unless Greg wants him.
I'm waiting on a text message. I have sent him that Scotty is available, but
yeah. So I am putting myself down for Scotty for right now. If Greg would like Scotty, I will switch it and I will go to Matty Fitz.
Okay, that's fair.
So, yeah.
All right.
Because I know who my pick is for next week. I know who my pick is for next week already.
We have a duck race next week, Dave.
Does it? I said it at the beginning of the year. I don't care if I am the first pick. I know who I am taking next week.
I almost went. Honestly, you know who I almost picked this week was Christopher Rattan. I almost wanted to row the boat. So, that being said, hope everybody has a great week. We will see you next Tuesday.
Cheers.
Cheers.